Representative Sanacero, as a former teacher and as a parent as well, you are bringing those two practices now into your legislative agenda by trying to start an innovative program, an after-school program for middle schools and pre-teens and teens age students here in Pennsylvania and in your legislative district.
Right. Thank you, Stephanie. It's called Z Period, and we'll work on that name as we go forward. But the idea is a simple one. What we want to do is provide one other day a week where kids in the middle schools in both the Pennsbury and the Council Rock districts will be able to be in a safe place between the hours of 3 and 5. And we want to run the program with volunteers and local donations to pay for at least one paid staff person at each school so that there is no cost to the school district.
Okay. Well, based on the activities, are we talking about some more academic help, perhaps, or are we talking about different ways that they can stay active or maintain a healthy lifestyle or to be taught a more healthy lifestyle?
Yeah, it's actually all of those things. There are actually three main components to this program. One would be the more traditional academic help aspect, which would be kind of homework help, that kind of thing. And there we're going to be counting on high school students to come in and help tutor the middle school students, and that will have a benefit to both groups,
sure,
as well as retired teachers who we have in the district. The second piece will be more of a physical activity period in which kids have the option to play an organized game like, say, volleyball or softball when the weather is nice, or do aerobics or something else like that. But then the third piece is really the critical one, and we call it Coffee House. And what Coffee House is essentially is an opportunity for these kids to sit around in a controlled environment and hang out with their friends, but in a supervised way. And we think that piece is important because that's the piece where we think we're going to be able to get a lot of the kids who aren't otherwise involved to come in because they're not going to feel as if it's as threatening an environment.
Sure.
And we hope through that they'll be in the program and then exposed to a number of other things that are happening, other activities, and that will perhaps lead or spark an interest in other things, and they'll get more involved as time goes on.
Sure. Now, are you still seeking some volunteers if anybody wants to help, whether they be a high school student to help with tutoring? You said
right,
some retired teachers. Have you gotten any feedback yet, or are you still looking for some volunteers out there who want to help?
We have preliminary approval from both school districts, and what we're looking for now are those volunteers as well as donations in the community. And we want to have everything in place by the end of February so that we can start this program on a pilot basis at least by the beginning of April and then run it through the last 8 weeks or so of the school year.
Sure. Now you're talking about teens in middle school, say pre-teens, and you're talking about the hours of between 3 and 5. So if you set it up for people, it's a lot of times those are students who, A, don't need a babysitter anymore. They probably hate to hear the words babysitter. And a lot of times their parents are still working from the hours of 3 to 5. So is it really helping to cut down on some distractions that may be out there in society for those students if they're home alone, say, if their parents are still at work after school?
Absolutely it is. I mean, those of us who are in education, and frankly any parent who has a child in that age group or has had a child go through that age knows that the middle school years are very tough times. I mean, kids go through physiological changes. They're becoming much more social. They're starting to discover the opposite gender. And so all these things kind of tug them in lots of different directions. And it's an opportunity at that time for them to perhaps take the wrong path. And so we felt it was particularly important in the middle school years to provide something like this so that hopefully they can avoid bad choices.
Sure.
And again, this is going to be a pilot in the first year, but our hope is that if it does succeed beyond that we could expand it to more than one day a week down the road. But we wanted to take it easy at the beginning because we want to make sure it does in fact succeed.
Sure. Now, this is your idea. However, it sounds like there's been quite a collaboration with some community organizations as well. We have here the Council Rock Coalition for Healthy Youth and the United Way of Bucks County. So there's some want and desire out there for other organizations to help as well.
Absolutely. The Council Rock group is also known as Crunchy by their acronym, and Pennsbury Lift is involved in this as well. And the United Way is a big help. In fact, they want to write into their next grant proposal funding for this going forward.
Okay, well, again, as we move forward, we hope to update our viewers on this program as well and the status of it.
Great. Thanks, Stephanie. I appreciate that.